Hi everyone, my name is Kiran. Today we are going to discuss about ARM templates. What is the ARM templates and why we use the ARM templates? How important? So how to use it and everything. We'll learn one by one. And it's kind of new series. This is a one ARM templates, and so one by one I will release this sessions, small sessions. We'll try to understand. Okay, so let's jump into the ARM templates. What is the ARM? A means Azure, and R means resource resource manager. resource manager So that means ARM means Azure Resource Manager template, guys. Azure Resource Manager template. Even if you just look into the Microsoft documentation also and see what are the ARM templates, and especially Microsoft saying that for deploying the Azure resources in infrastructure as a code wise, we can use the ARM templates. So you can see so many teams adopt the agile deployment development methods. So that way it's a infrastructure as a code is a key, and this is a automate the deployments and use the practice infrastructure as a code, practice of infrastructure as a code. So that means our infrastructure and configuration, it's available under code, guys. In the code, you define the infrastructure that needs to be deployed, what we need to deploy, and we are going to define in the code. That is called infrastructure as a code. In this infrastructure as a code, it's a nowadays is a as a part of project like Terraform, ARM template, biceps, and Ansible. These are all those things infrastructure as a code, guys. So one of the ARM template is a infrastructure as a code, especially for using in Azure platform only. In Azure platform only, we are going to use the ARM templates. So this code become a as part of your project, and just like application code, how is the application code? Same like this infrastructure as a code, we can maintain in the source repository and version it. Different versions also we can maintain. Similarly, so deploy same infrastructure. So like suppose example, I have one application and front end one VM and backend SQL database. It's a PaaS services. Something is a storage, and like that, so many different services. If I'm using, like it's a again one more VM, and suppose a load balancer. This is a my infra totally. Suppose example. Okay, so this totally how like we are going to deploy. Generally go to the Azure portal, and we can one by one, first virtual network, after that subnets, after that VMs, after that load balancer, everything we have to do manually, everything one by one. Even when through portal, if I'm going to deploy VM, one VM at a time, after that one more VM, after that one more VM, we need to one by one, we need to submit the things and we need to deploy. It will take long time to deploy. Even sometimes what will happen might be I will miss the some configuration changes. That means might be additional disk, or might be different subnets, or might be it's a different options I selected. So due to that same environment, if I'm going to deploy, it's not easy. Might be it's a manual mistakes, might be human errors. Due to that, we can't deploy properly. So due to human errors, we can't deploy the same environment at a time. So instead of that one, infrastructure as a code wise, we can deploy very simple and very quickly and fastly. We can deploy the same environment in one more subscription or one more environment also we can deploy. Similar environments we want deployed so that we can use the infrastructure as a code. This infrastructure as a code in Azure platform, ARM templates, guys. ARM templates. So here, this is also we can maintain the source repository. So whenever we require, and simply we can take the that code and just as a automate the thing. That means it's a just run the template so that we can get the same environment, similar environment, we can get it. So in which format or which language we have to use to write this ARM template? So this ARM template needs to be right in the JSON, JavaScript object notation. You can observe, guys, JavaScript object notation. The template is a JavaScript object notation file that define the infrastructure and configuration for your project. So totally infrastructure and configuration for your project, totally it's available, guys, in this JSON. So this template usually uses for declarative syntax. What is the mean of declarative syntax? So you can see here which let state what you need to intended to deploy without having to write the sequence of programming commands to create it. So no need to define it. It's a first virtual network and subnet. This is a network interface card. After that, it's a storage. After that, VM. Like that sequence, no need to mention. That code is a no need to mention. What you require? VM. So I can define it. This is a VM. This is a so and so, like that. So that declarative. So what are the required? Those things we are going to mention in the code. That's it. So how to deploy it? It will specify ARM template. That means resource manager template. It's going to deploy it. How we required accordingly, that backend ARM resource manager, it's going to take care what we are write the code accordingly. It will try to deploy it, guys. What resource we required, what infrastructure and configuration required, accordingly it will try to deploy it automatically. No need to mention ourselves one by one code, what is the sequence and everything. Nothing to no need to mention in the code, guys. So that is the advantage of in infrastructure as a code. This is a declarative syntax. In ARM template, we are going to mention the declarative syntax. We are going to use it. Okay. So here you can advantages. We can see here even resource manager template. One template submitted normally portal through that, but it's like multiple imperative put calls. Like infrastructure as a code wise, we are going to put the calls and multiple calls so that accordingly it will going to deploy it. So what is the advantage? Declarative syntax, no need to mention the sequence, and repeatable results. Same result every time we'll get it. So it won't change. Yes, that environment as it is will get it. That is a thing. And orchestration, automate the things. You don't have worry about the complexity of ordering the operation. So that operation orchestration, it's automatically taken care. Okay, so module files we can maintain. So what module files means? This is the one application, this is a one project. So I can create a one module. Every time that module I can use it, and same environment, easy to create it, easy to create it. So that is the advantages of these, all those things, guys. You can see it here that all advantages they mention. And one more point here, you need to understand this ARM template, the deployment process, how it will happen. When deploying the template, the resource manager converts the template into REST API operation. It's converted into the REST API operation. For example, resource manager receive the template with the following resource definition. This is a JSON. So you can see here JSON. This is a template. What we are specifying the template under that understand the resource manager, and accordingly it will REST API, it will take the operation. So it converts the definition in the following REST API operation, which sent to the Microsoft storage service provider. So because of it's a, you can see here, we are trying to deploy the storage account. That's the reason it's going to the resource provider. This resource provider is going to take care what we are giving the request. The request accordingly, relevant resource provider will take care about, try to deploy the resources. So each and every uh, resource related separate providers is available. Suppose example, networking related, all networking related one resource provider, like virtual network, VPN, application gateway, load balancer, DNS. These are all those things under networking. Like multiple, so many things are there, but these are all those things under networking. So that means network resource provider is going to take care about what we given the request in the ARM template. In infrastructure as a code, what we given, that needs to be understand by REST API. That resource provider will understand accordingly. It will try to deploy it in the backend. In the backend, it will deploy it like this, guys. So this template, how to deploy it? Using the Azure portal or Azure CLI or PowerShell and REST API. Through that also we can process. And in GitHub repository also buttons is available. Just as a you can click on button, that deployment also happen. And Azure Cloud Shell, in Azure portal, Cloud Shell is available. You can upload the templates. Even through that also we can deploy the resources. So template design, we can define it. So even three-tier architecture or any other architecture diagrams, you can see here different ways. And this all entire environment, single template, through that easily we can deploy it, guys. Easily we can deploy it. So that is the advantage. Same template you can share with your colleagues, or suppose any other team, or might be, it's an example, suppose you are migrating from one Azure resource Azure tenant to another tenant. Might be your application managing by some third party company you already given, and they are managing everything in their tenant. Suppose you want to migrate to your tenant, simply you can take the templates, and as it is same environment, easy to deploy in your tenant also. So that is the advantage. So no need to worry about that. So each and every point you need to check it. No need to, that way, no need, not required. It's very simple. Take in the template, using the template we can deploy it. Same environment, easy to set up in your tenant also. That is a advantage of this is a one, guys. So hopefully everyone understand. This is a first session, and later on one by one we'll try to understand this ARM template syntax and structure and schema. All those things one by one we'll try to understand. Even how to deploy this ARM template through PowerShell or CLI, and through Azure portal and Cloud Shell, everything we'll look into that, guys. So that's it today, and we'll meet next one more. One by one, we like sessions wise we'll understand the small sessions wise we'll try to understand. If you like this video, please subscribe and like and give the comments. It's if you given the likes and comments, it will reach to the more people, and it's definitely more people can learn these topics, guys. That's it from my end. Thank you. We'll meet next video.